This is Kathy Knipfer, instructor for Nursing 2333, recording the Managing Nursing Care lecture for Chapter 18, Building Teams Through Communication and Partnerships. Let's go over some definitions. Groups are individuals who are assembled together or have some unifying relationship. Examples would be a parent-teachers association or a student-nurses association. Teams are where a number of persons associate together are working on a specific work project or an activity, and they have specific goals or objectives in mind. Table 18-1 includes a team assessment exercise. With this team assessment exercise, we're answering the question, are we a team? So you would look at each of the criteria and answer yes or no. So these are obviously characteristics of a good, effective team. Foundations for creating teams. Commitment is a passion for the project or mission that the team is working on. This allows team members to do whatever it takes to reach the objective. This could be seen in what is required to successfully achieve Joint Commission or Magnet status designation. Communication is the verbal and nonverbal interaction that occurs in the team. These interactions should be respectful and honest. The members listen actively to the thoughts and feelings of other team members. Disagreements are handled in a way that honors each person and looks creatively for a win-win situation. Look at the communication rhythms on page 326. So if the communication is in rhythm, the sender sends a message and the receiver actively listens and receives the message. With non-rhythms, it could take several different scenarios. Both parties could send simultaneously, but neither party receives the message. Another non-rhythm would be that the receiver awaits a message or response. The sender clams up and refuses to speak or send a message. The third non-rhythm is that occurs when both parties are striving to receive and neither party sends a message. An example of this would be when a teacher asks students what they know and they get no response, so silence reigns. Connectedness is the positive supportive relationships that facilitate clear and effective communication. Now let's discuss effective communication. When an individual encounters stress or a threat to their positive self-worth, they often respond using one of 5 communication patterns, and this would be the stress response model. One is attribution of blame, placation, constrained cool-headedness, immaterial irrelevance, or congruence. You will see examples on page 327 in Table 18.3. Attribution of blame, the individual would use mostly you messages. For example, you really blew it. Placation, the individual would say, I was wrong, I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Constrained cool-headedness would be demonstrated by a statement like, studies have shown that in 75% of cases the patient is correct. I decided to use the research study in coming to a solution. Irrelevant. The individual would say, wait a minute, let me tell you about, and in other words, they change the subject. With congruence, they might state, for now I feel concerned about the anger and hostility exhibited by Dr. X. I'm wondering what approach would de-escalate him. Communication barriers. And these are listed on page 326. They include distractions, inadequate knowledge, poor planning, differences in perception, and emotions and personality. Communication pitfalls or techniques to avoid include advice giving, making others wrong, defensiveness, judging the other person, patronizing, giving false reassurance, asking why questions, and blaming others. Refer to box 18-1. This is on page 328. Make sure you would understand statements of each of the pitfalls as examples. Key concepts of a team. The first is conflict resolution. The team should be able to identify the triggering event, discover historical context for each person, assess how interdependent they are, identify issues, goals, and resources involved in any given situation, and uncover any previously considered solutions. A team also has a singleness of mission and a willingness to cooperate, as well as commitment. When individuals come together in a group, they spend a lot of time in group process or social dynamics. This allows the group to advance toward becoming a team and completing a goal. Each person in the group struggles with three key questions. These questions must be continually reevaluated and renegotiated. Am I in or out? Do I have any power or control? Can I use, develop, and be appreciated for my skills and resources? This is according to Weisberg. For this slide, Attributes of Effective and Ineffective Teams, I want you to look at each criteria and describe what each would be like for an effective team and what it would be like for an ineffective team. I want you to look at working environment, discussion, objectives, listening, ability to handle conflict, decision making, criticism, leadership, assignments, feelings, and self-regulation. There should be positive communications among a team. There can be group agreements, such as the one in box 18.6 on page 333. This was developed by the staff at the Colorado Center for Nursing Excellence, and it's called A Commitment to My Team Members. Trust is also important as the basis by which the leaders or managers facilitate the activities and the progress of the team. Qualities of a team player. Maxwell identified 17 characteristics, and you should know what each of these mean. There's a description for each on page 334 and 335. The 17 characteristics that make a good team player are that the team player is adaptable, collaborative, committed, communicative, competent, dependable, disciplined, enlarging, enthusiastic, intentional, mission conscious, prepared, relational, self-improving, selfless, solution-oriented, and tenacious. Synergy is where team members work together to produce extraordinary results that could not have been achieved by one individual. The result of 2 plus 2 would equal 5 because of these extraordinary results. How to create synergy among team members. There must be a clear purpose of the team. Active listening must occur. Some details on active listening, and you also have details in your mental illness care textbook. But look at box 18-7 and 18-4 in your textbook. These are on page 336. I want you to pay particular attention to examples of the active listening and the guidelines. Compassion, telling the truth. being flexible, being committed to the resolution are all characteristics that help to create synergy. So write them all down and describe each of them. There are some characteristics of team members that can kill synergy. One would be a self appointed expert that knows it all and is righteous. Someone who doesn't speak up. They know a great deal, but they don't share their knowledge and information. Another individual who is a loner, doesn't want to be a team player or cooperate with the others. Team building is valuable. It helps to enhance the establishment of goals and objectives, the allocation of the work to be performed, the manner in which the group works, its processes, norms, and decision making and communication patterns. It enhances relationships among the people doing the work. Let's review the management of emotions. There's some information on page 340. So what kinds of things happen when people get angry or upset within a group? A member might intimidate or frighten others within the group. Embarrassment. A member overstating or exaggerating another's view to appear right. It might provoke defensive and hostile responses. There might be over-concern with oneself or self-absorption. Gossip, loss of control. A member that distracts others from the real work. A disruption or termination of relationships within a group. We should also ask, what does the cost of suppressing emotions or feelings include? It might include physical or psychological stress, withdrawal from participation, a loss of energy and depression, a reduction of learning, hiding important data because of fear, festering problems and emotions, prevention of others from being acknowledged, decreased motivation, weakening the ability to receive constructive feedback, and the loss of one's influence. Let's summarize the role of leadership. Truly progressive leaders understand that leadership and followership are not necessarily a set of skills. Rather, these are qualities of character, a manifestation of a person's own being. In conclusion, we all work in teams. We all communicate. We need to be skillful at building teams and strengthening our communication skills.